Hi, Cancer Sun, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your Mars trine Pluto, September 6, 2021 reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. How will Cancer be affected by Mars trine Pluto, September 6, 2021? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Magician, as above, so below. So what we put our mind to is really going to be what we get, which is absolutely spot on with Mars trine Pluto, because there's intense force to be reckoned with during this time. And it's a time of strong will, determination for success. So we are set up during this time to be like, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to utilize this time. What I think about is going to be what I get. And so we also have to be very mindful about this, that if we're having an off day, if we're, being rather harsh on ourselves, we kind of have to reel it back, because we will start to see manifestation, whether it's for the really good things or whether it's for the really bad. And it leads us then to the sun. It's like, as I stand before the altar of my existence, the light starts shining on me. I start to illuminate what I desire and where I want to be and what it is that is important to me. It moves us to our inner self, which is intention, which is the Magician. So we have the Magician coming through again here. And it's like, okay, what is my intention? What is it that I desire? What is it that I want? And so Cancer, we really have to step back from things and really start to look at our hearts, really start to look at where we are and who we are and what we want from life, but also what we're claiming. It leads us to the Five of Wands. Our hearts have a bit of chaos in them. We're going to be so ready for a fight, which makes sense. Mars is the god of war. It was Ares in Greek mythology. And so here we have the sense of, am I ready for a battle? Am I ready for intensity? And that's why it's so wonderful that we have Pluto calming things down. And we'll get to that in just a moment. We then have the public arena, which is the Empress. I claim my throne. I sit on my throne. I claim my throne that I didn't think I could have. A voice I thought would be silenced. And I get to embrace something powerful and beautiful for me. I get to open up the door. And I get to know who I am and what I want and what I desire. And the Empress here doesn't mean that we have to give birth to something, but it does mean that we are creating something and giving birth to it within the world, making it part of our existence, whether it be an abstract idea that all of a sudden we're like, you know what, I'm going to go after this, I'm going to open up the door, I'm going to let myself be powerful and intentional and really quite beautiful within my own creative sphere. So let's start talking about Mars trine Pluto and let's look at the energy we have to be mindful of. What is the energy that Cancer needs to be mindful of? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. And this is the Hierophant. This is Taurus energy. But this is being too rigid in certain ways, and also really sticking to traditions because they are traditions and not because they work for us. So we need to step back and open up our hearts and what we desire and say, okay, is this right for me or is this isn't? What am I believing in and why am I believing in it? Is it because somebody else said that this is truth, or is it because somebody else, made me feel guilty about this or shameful about this? How do I claim my power? And what is right for me? Are we neurotypical beings? Do we have anything that's considered a disability that we have to kind of be mindful of for ourselves, or hardships, pains, disappointments, anxieties that come through? And when we see the Hierophant come forward, this is tradition, and this could be the sense of just soldier on, just keep pushing forward without really taking into consideration who we are and what we want and where we need to be and our own uniqueness that comes forward. So do be mindful of that during this time. It moves us to our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, which we have two right here. We have Soul's Healing, which is the Soul Star chakra located 6 inches above our crown, and we have the Inner Child. Now, with the Soul's Healing and the Inner Child coming together, there's a really powerful revelation that comes our way, which means that as we let the Soul's Healing light fall down upon us, our inner child, the person that we once were, comes forward and gets to be healed. And when I see this, I always see the exercise of just visualizing that child that you were when things were hard, not when things were awesome, but when things were hard, when you felt alone, when you felt, undervalued, when you didn't see the worth within yourself, when people belittled you, bullied you, and it doesn't matter if it was adults or children. Hold your arms open to that child that you once were and say, I'm here for you. I connect with you. I love you and I understand you. More than you understand yourself, because I've been there. We've been there. And we come out the other end. And just holding on to that child to say that you're loved, you're cared for, you're special, you're valued, that's everything. And that's a powerful everything that comes forward. It lightens the heart chakra, but it also strengthens us. So then when we look back on our own history, what has made us who we are, we don't sit there and think, oh wow, that's such a shameful, terrible part of my life because I didn't fit in, because it wasn't, part of a fairy book. And so here we start to be kind to ourselves. We start to love ourselves. And that's what brings us to the Magician. But that's what brings us to Mars trine Pluto. Because Mars trine Pluto has Mars acting on Pluto's evolutionary drive for healing, transformation, and rebuilding. Mars, its fierceness, its ferocity, its warrior spirit, says, I'm working with the healer. I'm working with the person who sees the soul. And I'm seeing myself more so now than ever before. Again, this is a time of strong wills and determination. We want success. And if we can utilize this time, if we can step into this power and say, I'm embracing my success, I am embracing who I am, I'm embracing what I desire, that becomes everything. This is a time to easily express our desires. We can find that we're not as afraid, or we don't think, oh my gosh, this is going to sound stupid, or I'm going to look silly type of thing. But it's also our desires for passions and our wants and who we are. And we're transforming that energy into a higher energy vibration. We're learning how to step into that power and not be at the base energy vibration that the world focuses on. The wants and the survival. But we're looking at the elevation of the soul and the self. With Mars trine Pluto, what is being brought forward is change. And as we embrace this change, we start to focus on bringing the change within us. We start to focus on seeing where we can stand within ourselves and why. And this helps us realize our purpose, but also release a lot of negativity that kept us from the place that we want to be. We become aware of our sensuality, our sexuality, our power, and our purpose. We become aware of who we are and why we want to be there. And that can be why Taurus energy is a bit complex for us during this time. Because Taurus energy focuses on traditions, it focuses on responsibilities, yes, it focuses on that grounding earth sign energy, but it's also astoundingly sensual, astoundingly, driven through passion and the coming together of power. And we can find that to be a little bit tricky during this time. How do we let passion and power come together without letting it consume us? And it brings us to the Magician. What are our elemental gifts? What are the gifts that we bring to the table that we think, oh, well, that's just me? There's nothing special. This is just who I am. And the fact of the matter is, it is everything that is special because it is who you are. As above, so below. As I think it, so it becomes. As I embrace it, so I am. And so with this time, we are looking at our power, our intuition, our desire, and our focus of self. We're looking at opening up the door. We're looking at claiming where we want to stand. And as we do so, the light shines in. As we do so, the sun comes in. And also, with Mars trine Pluto, it brings us a connection with our intuitive psychic abilities. Now, whether we believe in intuition or we believe in psychics, it doesn't really matter. What we believe is that connection with a greater spiritual guide. And we can use tarot cards, runes, whatever we like to use, or just communion through prayer or meditation, to let the light within us shine through, to help guide us forward and calm us, to lead us to a place of success, power, and prosperity. It brings us to a place of initiation. And with that initiation, and with that intuition, and with that understanding, we start to see ourselves initiated into a greater power than we had thought. And that's by letting the sun shine through. People, when the sun shines within us, they take us by eyes. They say, is that right? Do you get to have this beauty? Do you get to have this happiness? Do you get to be this successful? And why can't it be me? And what we're going to see here and what we're going to say is, you know what? You live your life, but I get to live mine. And I get to shine brightly. And I get to embrace the healing waters. And I get to dive deeply into my soul and into myself and into what I desire. And I get to open up the door. And as I open up the door, there is power and brilliance and beauty here. As I open up the door, there's a greater understanding of me. And as this happens, we see the chaos within our hearts. Because the initiation is like, what is it that I've been carrying that I don't need anymore? What is it that I have used to define me, used to block me, used to, keep my mind covered, that isn't helping me? How do I stand before the altar of my existence? How do I drink deeply of the waters of inspiration and let it become a part of my life, my soul, myself? And it moves us to the Five of Wands. The heart has chaos here. Now, the Five of Wands is arguments for the sake of arguments, but it's also chaos that we bring forward. During this time, as we're embracing power, as we're revving up for success, we think, can I do this? Can I move to the place that I want to be at? Can I embrace who I am and what I desire? Do I know who I am and what I desire? Or is everybody's, wants, needs, and demands upon me become my definition of myself? Where do I stand and why do I stand there? Who am I and where do I want to be within my life? We have to look at the chaos and say, I see you. I respect you, but I am not ruled by you. I honor the chaos I have walked through, and I walk in the rebirth of myself and the power of my soul. It brings us to the Empress. It's claiming a throne we never thought we would have. It's claiming a voice we thought was lost. It always makes me think of, The Perfect Mind? I think that's what it is. It's linked in the description box below. There's this beautiful commercial that I think some fashion brand did with it, which I don't quite understand, but I love the imagery of it. And there's this sense of, I am a contradiction. I am overlooked. I am a power that cannot be ignored. And that's what we're going to see with ourselves. We're going to see the twists and the turns and everything in between. We're going to see the claiming of the throne. We're going to see the birthing forward our creativity, the finding our voice, maybe in a way that we thought, this takes me out of my comfort zone. This overwhelms me. This frightens me. This makes me want to stop. But if I don't embrace this voice, if I don't embrace this power, who will? And where will they be? And how will they be? How do I get to embrace the power, the beauty, and the brilliance that is me? And how do I get to live in that inspiration? The Empress comes forward, and the Empress stands firm. She always makes me think of, what is her name? Theodora. Empress Theodora. When Emperor Justinius, or Justin, or Justus, or whatever his name was going to flee Rome. It was burning, and everything was falling apart, and he's like, okay, I gotta go. And she looked at him, and she's like, go if you need to. But I'm going to stay. And she shamed them in the most eloquent, beautiful way to say, I'm going to stand here. And I was once a courtesan. I think she was once a highly paid prostitute who worked her way up to become the wife of a emperor, which is just astounding if you think of it. And she had such chutzpah. She had such determination. And she claimed her power. She claimed her brilliance. And that's what we're doing. We're saying, this is me. And I'm claiming it with intensity and fire and understanding. And there's nothing and no one who's going to stop me, who's going to deny me. And it brings us to this place of like, let the light shine in. Because all the cards here, yes, at the bottom, this is just a Major Arcana deck. So, okay, they're Major Arcana cards. That makes sense. But the other two, they're also Major Arcana cards. And here we had 2 Major Arcana cards come out instead of the 1. We have fighting within the heart, chaos within the heart. Understand it, but don't let the chaos of emotion define you. Don't let other people's reality state for you who you are supposed to be. It moves us to this time, to the subconscious energy to be mindful of during Mars trine Pluto, which is the Princess of Cups. This is us being just a little bit naive. This can also be us wanting to be rescued, wanting things to work out, and having to understand that this is a time where we can rescue ourselves. We can dive deeply. Don't take anything at face value. Dive deeply within it. Claim your power within it, and let your light shine. There are going to be times where emotionally we might think, wow, I'm just completely overwhelmed. Understand it, respect it, but keep on moving forward. It moves us to our subconscious chakra message. We can also, the energy to be mindful of, we can also be taken in by other people's emotions, by other people's, wants and determination and, desires. And think, wow, they're absolutely on my side. And yet they're not going to be. They're going to be on their own side. So do be mindful of that. It moves us to our subconscious chakra message, which is psychic development, the third eye chakra. As was stated before, with Mars trine Pluto, this is a time where we can develop our intuition, our psychic development, where our third eye starts to open. Listen. Listen to the intuition that you're getting. Listen to the power that is a part of you. Don't poo-poo it because it doesn't fit into a certain narrative. Embrace it because it is who you are. It moves us to our subconscious rooted message, which is the Fool. The Fool has come up a lot during this time. And what the beautiful thing with the Fool is that every single hero is first a fool. Every single hero gets left out and mocked and thought of, how are you going to do this? How are you going to succeed? And here is a time where we say, I have to believe in me. If I don't believe in me, who the heck will? If I don't see my power and my beauty and my truth, how will I move forward? And where will I be? And so we start to open up to what we want, to who we desire being, to where we need to be within our lives, our souls and ourselves. We start to open up to who we are. And that changes the game. And so when we sit there and say, this is foolish. This is a foolish to go after these dreams. It's a fool who will, believe in me. Believe in you. And don't apologize for the circuitous route that you have taken to success. Embrace it. Because no roads are the same. And nobody gets to shame us. It moves us to our subconscious inner self. And that is balance. Now, this is the Wheel of Fortune. We need to find our balance as the world changes, as we enter into a new season, as we deal with new opportunities, new power, a new sense of purpose and determination. We deal with the balance, we find the balance, and we find ourselves. Our subconscious, emotional self is the Four of Cups. There is a gift coming in that we are not seeing. That can be because we are too busy with the chaos that is within us. But also, we're not looking for a gift this way. We're looking for a gift of power and intention and ferocity. And we need to move forward within it. We need to see ourselves openly and honestly. And as we do so, we can start to say, oh wow, this is more than I anticipated. This is more than I thought. And this is exactly what I need. It moves us to our subconscious public self. And that's the sun coming through once again. We have 2 magicians and 2 suns. So the light shines within us. It's brilliant, but because it's subconscious, we might not see it, but others definitely do. They see this air about us that isn't quite the same as everybody else. They see this power and intention and focus that really gets to move us forward. We see ourselves embracing our light. We see ourselves embracing our joy, dare we say, our bliss. And it doesn't mean that every moment of every single day gets to be blissful, but it does mean that joy and happiness has a place within our life, It has a place where how we're aligning ourselves in the battle that is existence, for the healing that is love and joy and contentment. Because remember, a human being cannot play if they don't feel safe. A human being cannot let their light shine if they do not feel safe. And so here, we start to feel safe within our skin. We start to feel powerful within ourselves. And we start to let ourselves shine more and more and more. All right, Cancer. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the prosperity and the magic that is to come. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Cancer.